Hey traders, welcome back to another Sunday video where we prep for the week ahead, talk about trading setups, things that I'm watching, and things that could massively move the markets in terms of news, fundamentals, etc. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through some charts. We're going to talk about some commodities, indices, and FX as well. We'll talk about setups, things that I'm looking out for, etc. If you appreciate these videos, do me a quick favor as we get started. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new here, I want to ask you to subscribe. We just hit 420,000 YouTube subscribers, and that is a huge milestone. So thank you very much to everybody who watches my videos regularly. Let's jump in. So in terms of events this week, a couple things to note. We do get on Monday ISM manufacturing PMI, very anticipated number. I'm very curious to see how this could impact Edgefinder scores. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I'll get to that in just a moment. But our software analyzes key data points like manufacturing PMI numbers and adds it into its algorithm. So anytime you get these events, I love these events because they oftentimes can generate setups in terms of fundamental bias trades. So we'll talk about that more in a moment. We have jolts on Tuesday, but things really heat up pretty dang quick. We got Jerome Powell speaking April 3rd. That is a Wednesday. We have ADP numbers and we get services PMI. So already by Wednesday, we got a big week. But it doesn't stop there because, of course, on Friday, it's the first Friday of the month, we get non-farm employment change. So these are some of the key events. I will be streaming all of them. So if you are not already watching the live streams, make sure, again, to hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified when I go live. And before we get into trading setups for the week, I just wanted to point out my current performance so far this year. And so what we are looking at here in terms of my WeBull account is a overall gain of just under 4%, up $35,000 on this account, which is awesome. And we'll see if this can continue. This has been a pretty good winning streak, but just remember a context point here to remember is that, you know, there are also periods like this one where I gave back a substantial amount of my gains. Didn't change anything about my strategy. It's just trading. You have really great times and you have points where you're going to give back some of those gains. Will that be this week? Maybe. I don't know when that's going to be. I just continue to trade my strategy, which I have traded for some time, and continue to let the winners roll in over time, accepting that there will also be losing streaks and drawdown. So first up, let's talk briefly a little bit about the US dollar. I'm looking at the daily chart and you can see basically price has been stuck in a bit of a range. And we've talked about this a lot recently, but basically the US dollar is not up because expectations for interest rates are going higher. In fact, actually, that's kind of the contrary. You can take a look, if you'd like, at the 2-year yield, which actually has been somewhat backing off of its recent highs. So despite, that rise in rates through some economic data that was strong, overall, well, it's come back down. And so why the heck is the dollar going up if expectations for rate cuts are, increasingly so? People are thinking rate cuts are coming. Well, it's because the US dollar's counterparties, right, the euro, the pound, etc., they have also come out and said, hey, we expect to cut rates. In fact, they seem to be willing to cut rates more aggressively and sooner. Remember, rate cuts equal usually down for a currency. And so if the US is looking to cut rates, but not nearly as soon as the other ones, well, that recent development is causing the US dollar to look relatively attractive. Now, for dollar bulls out there, as crazy as that theory is, right, being bullish because we're still going to see rate cuts, but they're going to be, later than other central banks, well, here's something to think about. If you do get a breakout, as crazy as it might be, the dollar might actually have room to continue to dominate its European counterparts, and we'll be looking out for opportunities in that regard. But for now, still range bound, not really convinced either way, unless we see a decisive green candle. If you get a candle like this here next week, yeah, that could be pretty interesting to markets, and perhaps you have a little bit more upside in the US dollar. Here's a quick look at gold, and you can see we are continuing to trend higher on this one. I am long GLD. You can see I'm up just under $11,000, which is a very crazy trade. But again, these sorts of things, win streaks, as I mentioned earlier, they're really nice when they happen, but you just kind of have to let them ride. Do your due diligence, do your homework, be patient, and let the winners run. So I am currently in some really good trades between my oil position, my gold trade, and my TLT position. My 3 core kind of entries right now are all very much in profit, and we'll continue to let those winners run. That being said, if price does reverse this week, we do get a pullback, I will continue to hold unless we break through this level of support. So looking left, I would take this as a point to go ahead and stop out of my trades. Am I bearish from that point? No, because fundamentally, I am overall bullish gold because of all the interest rate cuts. All these central banks are racing to cut interest rates. That's a very bullish environment for gold. I'll continue to trade the side of the fundamental story, which again has been and still is bullish. The Edgefinder, our software, which we'll talk about in just a moment, has been bullish since February 24th. It was a really nicely timed bullish call here from the Edgefinder, and that is what got me into the trade. That in combination with a technical reading on the 4-hour chart, which is where I entered the trade. We continue to hold that winner, and that one single trade has become the biggest one in terms of a winner for my account this year. Now, I've mentioned the Edgefinder a few times. Here is your current top setups algorithm output. So what you're looking at here is all the different data points that the Edgefinder automatically pulls in and generates bullish and bearish readings for. So when I mentioned PMIs earlier, right, we'll get some new PMI data this week, which could impact the scoring of several categories, right? And so my point was showing that is that while you get new information, that can oftentimes generate new signals, which I love. So I mentioned that I have TLT, which is a bond ETF. I am long bonds due to the Edgefinder. Oil also, nice bullish setup. I'm also long oil. I'll talk about oil in a moment. And gold has actually shifted back into neutral territory, but I'll show you the historic readings really quick on oil, on gold. So if I go over here to gold on the Edgefinder score indicator, I'll show you that. Okay, so we're looking at gold, and you can see it's more recently turned a bit more kind of neutral, slightly bullish still on gold, but it was very bullish before this big recent run-up, which we've seen. So let me just adjust the selection phase here. You can see there is that reading that I mentioned. The Edgefinder gave us a bullish signal February 24th, which of course was a Saturday. However, COT data factored in, the scoring update was in there, and beautifully to the upside we went, and that was kind of the historical score. I like to use this, and many other traders do as well, to backtest the call outs that the Edgefinder shares with users. I just flipped this around to see what the bearish readings were looking like. We have pound USD, pound yen, pound Swiss, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, Aussie Swiss, Aussie yen, pound CAD, Kiwi dollar, Kiwi Swiss, and pound Aussie. There are your bearish readings currently, and again, there is back to your bullish ones for the Edgefinder's output right now. All right, and we do have the latest round of the commitment of traders data as well. This will show us what institutional money is buying on a week-to-week basis, which is automatically imported each week to the Edgefinder's COT page. Okay, so let's go through this really quick. Overall, oil and gold continue to be the top, and silver and the Dow. These are your top most bullish positioning-wise in terms of a percentage base from institutional money. We flip it around, take a look at the most bearish things. There it is right there. But then the part that I like more in terms of the Edgefinder's COT page is most places don't do this. This will show us a in-depth breakdown for what traders really care about in the commitment of traders data. This section up here is much more oriented towards investors because these positions move much more gradually. Like if you've been watching my videos every week, you know these things have stayed here for like 3 months now. Like they don't move that much. So they're pretty much just saying long-term positioning. That being said, during the meantime, silver, oil, gold, they could have large correction periods before the overall move up. So traders, you guys need to be paying more attention to this section. This is the weekly COT filing, which the Edgefinder breaks down in great detail for you to see what the latest data is showing in terms of positioning. So what we saw this week is SPX and gold, some of the top recent ads. So what we saw here is the net change was pretty bullish on those assets. So that's a green light to continue to stay bullish gold for me. And SPX, a nice accumulation there in terms of that side. Now, what is a little bit red flag here? NASDAQ got sold pretty heavily. Kiwi dollar, pound dollar, which again, pound, the pound got sold pretty heavily, which again goes in line with the Edgefinder's current output scoring. But remember that the commitment of traders data is only one piece of information. The Edgefinder is not scored only on the commitment of traders data, and I think you're missing the full picture if you only look at COT. That's why within the top setups algorithm, we look at COT, but we also look at like 15 other different things as well to factor into our total breakdown and score output. By the way, if you'd like some more information about the Edgefinder, there will be a link down below in the description where you can actually sign up for a 30-day trial if that's something you're interested in, or you can go ahead and just pick up the software with code YTVIP down below. Use that link. That'll give you a nice subscriber discount. Now, although I've been talking a lot about gold, which is a fan favorite in terms of assets to talk about, oil has actually been creeping up on gold in terms of one of my recent trades. I'm up just shy of about $5,000 on this particular position, and I just want to add some context here. I took an entry on oil right here, which went against me, and I took a $900 loss, and then I decided to re-enter after this nice little pin bar formed. I know that was, kind of an oversimplification of why I entered, but the Edgefinder was giving a bullish reading, so I was looking for an overall bullish move, but my first entry was a bit early in terms of price action. So I entered a second time, and that second entry has done quite well. Now, it did come all the way back against me to break even. I held the trade, and so far we're looking okay. What I'm looking for those of you guys who are also watching oil, is a break through this high this week. If we get that, then I'll look to really trail stops into profit and try and let this winner continue to run for me on the trading account. And here's the S&P 500, which again continues to rock higher overall. Here is the daily chart. And this is just a solid uptrend overall. This is not something I want to short, although I have been calling for what I think is a healthy correction in the S&P 500, a pullback. We just haven't really gotten it. We've only gotten these brief, 2 to 3 day pullbacks, and then the market rips again. So I'm not one to fight that sort of move. In fact, of the 3 indices, the NASDAQ also looks pretty strong, but my favorite right now is the Dow Jones. Why is that? Well, systematically, I look at my system to find the trades that I trade. So US 30 is giving me the most bullish reading when looking at all of the different factors. So I'll be looking at US 30 for a possible entry, although I was looking at it over here and just missed my entry just by a little bit. I was looking for that 50% retracement, didn't quite get it, and the market left me behind. So I am looking for either a pullback into this area, or if we break out and just make a new leg higher, I'll be looking for pullbacks and just continuing to stay bullish until this market changes. But again, where I think a lot of people have gone wrong is trying to short these rallies. A lot of traders have gotten on the wrong side of the S&P 500 trying to short it, the NASDAQ, etc. I am not short. I am just sitting out of some of the recent move. I'm waiting for a pullback and trying to stay constructive on this. Yes, I would love to have been in the entire move, but I mentioned earlier, I've caught some pretty good moves on commodities, so I'm not really, I'm not complaining at all. I've had some good trades this year so far. For the currency traders, I find pound dollar to be an interesting trade going into this week. If you do get a push up in this one, this could be an area where I start looking for maybe some sells on this one. Again, despite what's so weird is being bullish dollar as well as being bullish gold, but it happens, right? The reason the dollar's bullish is not because the Fed is being adversarial and going to raise rates, but it's just looking to potentially do it at a slower rate than its European counterparts, making the dollar possibly strong at the same time as gold. I know that's kind of confusing, so please feel free to rewatch that segment of what I just said if you need some more clarity. Now, next up, I also am currently having a bullish position on TLT. I'll show you that really quick. So TLT is a bond ETF that I sold puts on. What that means is I captured a premium for doing so, and this is strategy number 2. You guys always see me on my videos talking about strategy number 1, which I call the true trend following strategy. It's my momentum-based approach. This one, however, is more of a mean reversion and premium collection strategy that I utilize options for. What I'm looking for is to sell puts, get filled, and then sell covered calls. Often called the wheel strategy. This is nothing I invented, but it is a wonderful way to collect premium even if the market just goes sideways. That being said, TLT, I wouldn't mind getting filled, but it seems like the market has ripped against me here, which is nice because of, well, not against me, but it's ripped in the upside, which means I probably won't get filled on this. I still could. There's still some time before expiration date, which is way out until April 26, a little bit further out in terms of expiration date. So this market totally could trend back the other way. That being said, this is my current positions overall. There's the gold position, US oil. I'm also doing some covered calls on FXI, which has been going really well. That's been making some nice money for me in terms of the Chinese stock market. A little bit of a high risk area of the market, I will say so. But again, I've been selling covered calls on my existing position, which is also in the green. So again, I just want to say that right now my trading looks pretty unstoppable, but I know I've been doing this just way too long to think that this isn't going to end, right? This is going to end. My winning streak here, my absolute, unbeatableness that I'm feeling right now as I say this, right? It's going to end. I've done this for long enough. I know it's not a time to get greedy and over leverage or anything like that. I'll continue to do what works for me and accept that a drawdown at some point will come. Will that be this week? I have no idea, right? I just trade my strategy. Strategies. I've got two approaches, a mean reversion and a momentum-based strategy, and overall, it serves me well. That being said, if you guys want to trade with the same broker as I do, if you want to use what I use for directly trading on TradingView, right? I showed you guys my trades plugged right in there. And also being able to use the options platform, which is absolutely so cool. There's a link down below in the description for WeBull. If you're not in the US or you're looking to trade FX, there's some brokers down below in the description that will give you some special sign-up perks if you use my referral link. That being said, you don't have to use my referral link. If you choose to do so, I'll be very grateful, and you will get something in return. There's some special, sign-up perks, and you can get free shares if you use my links. That all can be found out down below in the description. So again, if this video was helpful to you, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Have a great trading week ahead. And again, there's plenty of free value in the description down below if you're looking for some additional help in your trading journey. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you back in the next one.